we have in the top left-hand corner. Grabbing the cranky ducklings. It's Dolan.
And his opponent, down here in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, it's Trigger. Safe to say he's the favorite going into this particular series. But we've already seen the underdogs today do some crazy strategies, right? Do you expect any weirdness coming out of Dolan here as far as his build orders go?
I don't actually know. I cast Dolan a bunch last season. I feel like he's a more standard Terran, but he will still hit the like he likes to like 2 base push or like, you know, set up those siege attacks that never stop and then, you know, gets the liberators early. I feel like that's what Dolan likes to do. It's not like cheesy off the first 3 to 4 minutes, but more like, you know, he's not gonna like try to end up in the late game. He's gonna try and be aggressive, but not like in the super cheesy way, just in a timing attack way, I suppose makes sense to say.
Trigger actually scouting over here on the other side of the map, just making sure that there's nothing all too fishy going on here. Probably a little bit concerned about getting cheesed out early. I mean, that seems to usually be the main concern, right, for the player that is usually a little bit higher ranked. That they're gonna be caught off guard by something silly. As long as they can force the game to go a little bit longer, that's usually where they will end up being the favorite. So crossing his T's, dotting his I's over here, making sure that he is not going up against anything all too wild.
Just gonna see our CC dropping down, Nexus and the Cybercore all coming up. As our Marine comes across, Probe is just gonna get chased away. And the Probe from Trigger on the bottom side is gonna come down and just move out, so... yeah, maybe something a little sneaky from him, because a second Probe moving around the left side, unless he really isn't sure that Dolan's not being cheeky, is kind of interesting.
I think he's scouting.
Yeah, maybe he's just checking that gold and just seeing if there's anything in the corner. Fair enough, he's just being very safe.
Yeah. I think it's one of those scenarios, right, where like this extra scout over here costs you like what, 50 minerals maybe a little bit more than that, right, on top of the ones that you're already losing for that second worker. So maybe in total this being super safe has cost him like 100 minerals in potential mining that he lost. But ultimately he's now confirmed that he's not playing against anything hyper aggressive here, which I guess for his peace of mind and probably his game result is not a bad idea.
As that Twilight Council coming down, pretty standard from Trigger. I mean, he will play the Stargates as well, but I think he really does love just opening with his Blink in this matchup, getting some good control across the map, putting some damage in. To me, that's kind of everything that Trigger's about in this one, so not really too surprised to see that at all. Just have ourselves the Twilight Council finishing up shortly. And yeah, a couple Hellions on the way from Dolan. Starport is in the main, so not proxied anywhere, but obviously could still maybe go for some droppy plays, so we'll see what comes of that.
Hellions do get spotted right here by Trigger. That's always nice to know roughly what you're playing against here to make sure that you're not gonna be caught off guard against anything crazy. Trigger's still scouting, by the way, the right side of the map. So really making sure that he is not playing against anything completely unknown. Like if this would be a proxy starport, where would it go? Well, he's checked every location twice. So he definitely must realize at this point that it's nothing all too crazy. It's gonna be a Liberator here, and yeah, we're just gonna be going into that good old Blink upgrade. Have an extra gateway or 2 coming up right now. We'll probably see a Nexus here before too long.
Yep, absolutely. Obviously, just the triple gate is not too aggro. It's still going to allow you to apply good pressure, but you're in general going to be focused on still taking that third base. The Hellions are going to move out on the map from Dolan. Not going to be joined by a medevac or anything. He's got 6 Hellions. Lots of dive potential, but that's the power of the wall off here from Trigger, and he ain't messing about. That's a full wall on his 2 bases. So he is very serious about this. Obviously, Stalkers can blink across that wall. He's just going to sit defensively for now, though, and I wonder if I guess he doesn't really do anything. If he's going to... I was just wondering about how he takes the third base, but... oh, he actually is going to cancel a gateway, so he's just back to 2
yeah,
gates.
he's just going to cancel it. Oh,
okay.
Almost inviting his opponent in a little bit. That's not going to really work that well, but yeah, he is going to now be able to get in because of that grenade right there. How much damage will he be able to deal? 7 workers going down, 10 workers going down, 11? Liberator in the main base in the meantime also getting some shots, yeah.
Yeah, that Liberator really added up. That Liberator was 5 kills on that, so... heavy investment from Dolan because he was 6 Hellions, Liberator 2, but he got a lot out of it, and I genuinely thought this was 3 gateways that we could go and, pressure a little bit as Trigger, but now it's only 2 gateways, and yet you're not going to have the fast third base that you would usually have with 2 gateways because you've lost too much economy. That's why I get a bit, worried for Trigger. He will move across the map. 2 bunkers, not quite ready yet. It's not a lot, but if he had like a blink in the main, I would love it. With a blink on the natural, I don't think I like this at all.
Oh no, he decides to commit regardless. Once Siege Tank does end up going down over here, fair enough. Liberator going back into the main base, but there's still a Stalker ready to defend against it. If you're gonna play this safe of an early game, right? Like, that is the exact thing that you want to try and avoid. Losing 14 workers at this stage in the game already. More going down as well. I mean, that is so much damage done right here by the Terran player. And that's exactly what Trigger was trying to avoid. This is one of these I don't want to die to anything silly type of openers. And, well, he now took an awful lot of damage. Way more than he was intending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blink into the main base.
As we do blink up and we do start to put some damage out. Bunker will be taking a little bit of damage. It fills up just a die moments later. There's no tank down here, so the tank going down on the naturals may be a bigger deal than initially expected, because now you don't have as much mobility on your kind of, siege defense. Going to replicate the tank from the low ground, and now the Stalkers blink out. They got a bit of something there, though, so Trigger pulling himself back, and currently a supply block Dolan. It's not exactly great to keep things going himself, and now something just dropped off from Dolan. I guess the Liberator died. Of course, I literally watched the Liberator die. I'm like, whoa, where did supply go?
Yeah, two of the Liberators have gone down in this game now, so he managed to get the both of them at this point in the game. All right, so ultimately Trigger is going to be able to get his third base going. He's going to go into Storm as well as that charge upgrade here, but a very safe start, maybe almost a little bit too safe in the end, because he just did not have all of his units in the right place, and maybe even one unit less as well, right? Because you're spending so much time just scouting around and losing lost mining time here. Ultimately, though, I'm still liking this position here for him quite a bit.
Stalkers are going to sit, and I mean, just camping out the front is nice. He's now got that third base up. He's retaking the work lead Trigger should have. So I think that's all great. And you look at what Dolan's at, well, he's just 2 base fully sent in it, right? Like, there's no third, so he's just going to commit off the 2 bases. And yeah, Trigger knows all about it. So with Storm coming up, I mean, Storm is sometimes hit or miss, but if you know you're going to need, X amount of Storms, and if the Storm can be a bit of a surprise, I think it can actually be very good against these 2 base pushes. He's also getting the Immortals. He's also going to focus on Zealots. I think he's doing all the right things to be well prepped for this. Already kind of shaving off a few units with the Stalkers as well. Trigger taking big steps towards preparation for this 2 base all-in.
Yep. Now, are we gonna pull all of the boys as well? That's the question here for Dolan, because he does have tons of SCVs here, but no third command center. Maybe over-making workers just a bit. Okay, I was gonna say, we're gonna pull at least a bunch of them to make sure that maybe we can build some stuff on the other side of the map, or at least soak up a bit of damage. One Archon is already coming up. Excellent unit, of course, in this scenario. How many Immortals do we have? Just the 1. This is still going to be a tricky one, but we do have Storm done.
Yeah, seeing this High Templar ahead of time a little bit as Dolan is nice, because now he doesn't, run headfirst into it. That was still a good catch on the edge of the army. A few more Storms available. I do like the Immortals in production. I know he only has 1, but now building a second. These are the things that help you out a lot as we do blink forward daringly there as Trigger. I guess he's got the Observer, so he knows the move that's being made. The SCVs are going home. The Ghost Academy and a third CC are on the way. Dolan's not convinced this time and he's going to get it done for himself. It's never good when the Terrans down their timing attack.
Whew, I was going to say, that was just millimeters away right there from being an absolute disaster for that bio army. Sometimes you get stormed in the face and you don't quite pay attention to your force like that. We see that happen so many times. Okay, if you're going to be ambitious out in the middle of the map, you definitely have to be confident. Okay, some big storms going down. One of the siege tank also gets hit. Second one ends up falling. Nicely done right there by the Protoss.
Yeah, that was a great little fight. Storms were good. We got rid of the tanks quickly and effectively. The Widowmines did a little bit towards the end. These Zealots should just go in the natural. There's no reason for them to just chill out here, and it's the perfect time. Couple of Ghosts are here. Freebies. Let's take those. We get rid of 1 already. That's a fantastic start. Ghosts are not cheap units. We do get the other behind the wall off, but it's pulling the rest of Dolan's army home. So Trigger is making even more time for himself as he continues in towards the road bay. He's getting a bunch of SCVs, just as Dolan wants SCVs to saturate a third. And that third base has been slowed even further as well. So it's starting to look better and better here. For Basilisk Protoss, cancel a third, pull the SCVs. We're going to send it. I do not hate that call.
3 Templar though, with plenty of energies for storms ready to go. There are a couple of Archons in the mix too, so those 2 Ghosts that you see right there with their purple little energy bar, super critical in this particular engagement. He's gonna need to hit some absolute killer EMPs if he wants to obtain the victory against this Protoss army. It sure is possible. Colossi are also on the horizon, by the way. I don't think it's time for a fourth base here, Trigger. I think we just need to hold this.
Yeah, he's going to see all the SCVs now. Storm is nice because obviously Storm can get rid of a lot of those SCVs and stop them from being very tanky, just like that. Obviously, you don't really want to use every Storm on SCVs, but like I say, it can help as the Ghosts come forward looking for EMPs. They honestly don't do that well on EMPing, but an Immortal got hit? Like, nothing has lost shields here, and the Ghosts have no energy left, so Dolan, one of the benefits will be his 1-1 upgrades. That definitely helps him out. The Widow Mine farm is really nice as well. It's going to be able to get rid of a lot of the Zealots that will try and charge into this. As in we go. Widow Mines are going to be big right now. They get rid of quite a lot of the Zealots. Archon's taking hits as well. Trigger's supply is not looking too pretty. This Terran Force is still looking good in the natural. And Trigger, I don't think he's got enough right now. That
Robo facility getting sniped in a natural expansion turned out to be an absolute disaster. If he had a Colossus right now available, this would have been a hell of a lot easier for him, but he's finding himself in a position that he was not envisioning himself in at all. He never warped in any new additional Templar, and even though the EMPs were nothing really to write home about, Dolan just has enough units yet still available. There's a couple of Templar, though, scurrying around the outside of the main base here. He's trying to come in from the north. Okay, he needs to land some killer storms here.
Yeah, he's going to start losing a lot of his production, of course, as we have Zealots aplenty on the other side of the map.
Templar in the main? Oh, okay. Trying their very best, and I think ultimately they got some good hits in, but 2 Archons, I mean, they're basically free to pick off, yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously costly when supply is so meaningful right now, although, to be fair, I mean, 50 army to 40 army supply. The only problem is a lot of the Zealots are on the other side of the map still. The Widow Mine's on cooldown right now. This might be the time to somewhat send it if you want to chase this army down. Yeah, I think this might be it, where Dolan just can't do too much else, and yeah, things might actually get stopped for a little bit.
Alright, so ultimately this Terran army will get pushed back. Dolan now at 1 SCV. 1 worker and a dream. Where is the SCV already?
The SCV? SCV is over here.
There you go.
With some mules, man.
That guy.
I mean,
he's got friends. He's cool as buddies.
It's okay, actually. I read Reddit the other day. Apparently, this is full 3-base economy, so I think we're going to be okay.
There's Widow Mines, there's mules. Like, what more do you need?
No, actually, he doesn't have any Widow Mines left. Just the mules.
Oh, no, wait. They've already gone.
But with that many,
coming up now.
Yeah, that many mules, he's got Widow Mine production for days.
It is a loophole, man. That's incredible. Yeah, no, this is going to be tricky. That got very close, though, near the end right there. Like, that could have been an absolute disaster. Like, 1 or 2 storms or maybe 1 better EMP. I mean, that could have flipped this game upside down. Okay, well, the mules are going to go down. So, no more Widow Mine production after this, it seems, but...
Yep, getting rid of a few
I feel like this all-in from Dolan has been happening for 5 minutes now.
It has been pretty non-stop, hasn't it? As Storm comes down, Bio taking some shots. Another Storm will come into play. The Medevac's taking extra damage. 1 more Storm. He's going to do it. GG's. Trigger is going to take the 1-0 lead. I mean, credit to him. Like, it was a pretty tricky situation that came around in the end, but he was able to hold his own. He was able to move through. Trigger was able to take that game 1 advantage over Dolan. Cool from Dolan, too. I mean, the choice to pull SCVs right there was clearly the best one. It gave him a real shot of winning. It gave him a real possible chance, which was more than we could have said like a few moments before that, because Trigger was looking as though he was just doing everything right. But yeah, the SCV pull nearly made it a thing, so see what happens this game too.
That game was close, but also because of that early game right there, right, from Trigger. So Trigger decided to play a super safe start. So he basically went for one of those openers where you're making sure 100% that you're not getting cheese. So he scouted to the best of his abilities all of the different angles where these starports could be hidden or where any of those things could be at. And then he canceled the gateway to completed the wall off, and the Hellions got like 20 worker kills, or maybe 15 or so, in combination with that Liberator in the main base. That was way more damage than I think even, well, Dolan right there was assuming he would get done. So, yeah, getting another game going like that, I think, is going to be very, very difficult. I don't think Trigger is going to let that happen a second time around, but only time will tell. It's going to be Alcyone here in game number 2. Players are ready. We'll be loading in very soon.
Yep, ready, go, GLA, HF being called, GLGLs. The referee's giving them a good look as well. Wow, everyone's getting on this. So Alcyone coming up as we have game number 2 of Trigger and Dolan, penultimate match of the night. Terran versus Protoss, and so far Trigger getting it done a little shakily though. You know what? Honestly, like if you want to be an America's champ, I feel like you got to be a bit shaky, even the matches you're meant to be good in. Like it just feels like that's what the region's about. You know, like you're not meant to win easily. That's just not very American of you, apparently.
Yeah, playing a clean game. It's not very American. Well, Morty said it first, guys. I would not be going that far if I was him, but...
Wow.
Prepare for some angry tweets.
Bottom left, our Canadian Protoss player from Basilisk is Trigger.
And his opponent, dealing a lot of damage in the early game in that previous match, it's Dolan. You know what? This time around, the man's sending out an SCV all the way towards the top left.
Oh, maybe he is a little bit of a cheeky guy than I gave him credit for in that opening speech in that previous match. Barracks goes down.
That's an interesting one.
That's
because it's not even that much closer to the opponent, right? Like this is one of those proxies where, like, yeah, you still have the cross, you know, like, yeah, okay, it's closer, of course, but it's not like that much closer. Where you're really super excited about it.
It's definitely closer if you draw the triangle, man. Alongside the triangle, you know, if you do your Pythagoras.
Get your theorem out, man.
A squared plus B squared C squared. Yeah, so
you probably have some fancier formulas, Wardy, after all that. Was it physics? I think it's physics.
Yeah, at some point I did. Maybe not anymore.
At some point you remember.
Nowadays
cool
I'm
theories.
like, Protoss plus Protoss equals bad. Protoss plus Terran is good. You know, something like that.
Protoss plus Widowmines equals winning for Terran? I don't know how this works, man. This is complex. Yeah. Anyways, are we going to proxy the factory as well? Is that what we're going to do?
I do recall, actually, last season Dolan did I can't remember how much he did it, but like, I feel like he at least one time proxied everything. It was either Dolan, maybe it was Massa. That's also a very Massa thing to do. So, yeah, for a moment you said it, I was like, actually, maybe. But no, he's going to put the factory at home. The SCV is just chilling. I assume to come with the Reaper and
he's just living his life.
Nope, the SCV is just gonna chill there.
Yeah, maybe building the barracks came with a retirement plan, you know?
Oh, the second factory.
Oh, it's a second factory. Never mind. We're out of retirement. What?
Double reactor cyclones, maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Huh.
What about Trigger just opens up Blink Stalker? Like, I don't really know exactly how it lines up. But Stalkers are pretty good units.
Yeah, I mean, Stalkers are pretty good. The only problem is getting any sort of tech up is going to take a while. I had to build a Hellion first on the other side of the map. I do not know where we're going. Maybe like a Hellion Cyclone combo and we just push.
He's queued up 3 Hellions.
That is some dedication.
In that first factory. Yeah.
Yes, he knows what he wants to build, man. You know what?
Okay, Armory comes up.
You know, any build works out perfectly in terms of the money at the right times. If you just, you know, queue up the Hellions all at once.
Yeah, fair.
So this is going to turn into a Thor drop?
Is.
Or Thor push, or just Hellbats, or what are we doing?
Well, Hellbats would be very strange.
Well, yeah. But
last time I checked.
That's what I thought.
Last time I checked, there's no Zerglings.
But then why do we have double factory? Oh my god, Marauder Concussive Shells Hellbat. He's actually going to go Hellbat Marauder, isn't he?
I mean, that's the only thing you can really go for here, but I just... Well, it is a Phoenix opener right here for Trigger, which is probably not quite optimal, but... SCV pool? This reminds me of our Zerg versus Zerg previously, Wardy, where we were trying to make sense of what was going on there.
Oh my goodness, every series in America
this may very well work out, though.
I mean, Trigger has 8 army supply, second Phoenix coming, that doesn't help at all. Right? Phoenix do nothing here apart from scout it coming. What do? Cancel second Phoenix, build a Void Ray?
I guess. Yeah, you need something that can actually shoot there, because
those
SCVs are... Yeah, no, they're going to be able to get the full wraparound over here. Oh, we're going to lift up one Hellbat. Okay.
Yo, he's going to do good damage to that Hellbat.
Complete win.
If he got there a bit sooner. Yeah, Void Ray starts, but that's obviously a long way from finishing, and well, the pylon dies long before that. Yeah, this looks as though it's a good enough.
What a game.
What a game.
Well, I mean, he's trying to restart it right now with another pylon a little bit down south, but that one is also getting targeted by a Hellbat. We rarely see SCVs and Hellbats killing pylons in this matchup. This is a weird sight.
And Trigger kind of
now we're just going to go after the Stargate directly.
Trigger kind of knew something was coming because he was like fully walling off and he had batteries and so on, but he just had no actual units to help him. And obviously the Phoenix just do absolutely nothing to help either, especially when the first Phoenix doesn't go out to scout. Imagine the first Phoenix goes to scout and you just get a bit more heads up. The Void Ray at least comes out and you're dealing damage throughout this. And he's only 5 workers behind right now. If the Void Ray is fighting this entire time, I could be made to believe, you know.
I mean, this is still a 1-base all-in right here from Dolan.
Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this.
Nah, there's no way.
Surely not. I mean, if the Immortal came out,
but you're right. Like
perhaps,
if he would have scouted with the very first Phoenix and he would have found it, he would have canceled the second Phoenix and made a straight Void Ray. It would be killing everything here this entire time.
Yeah, Phoenix are very good against like harass, but they're not very good against like the straight up like we're gonna throw everything at you all in, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not when it hits this quickly. So.
He's walled him in, by the way. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no leaving, but also no entering until you kill that pylon there, completing the wall off. Trigger believes in the one Immortal. He's been trying to produce that one for a while, but he really doesn't have a shot anymore in this game. I mean, even if you get the probes out, I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen here. GG.
GG's. We're gonna go to a game number 3. That's what's going to happen. We are gonna see ourselves a full best of 3 once again here in the Americas. Americas is delivering. Not just with the fact we're going to game 3, but with the way we're getting to game 3 as well. These are some wild matches.
That was such a strange build order, though.
I love
double factory as well, right? Yeah, that's so crazy.
I just love that.
Okay.
I just love that he queued 3 Hellions with the first factory. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Hands in the air. Like, you caught me, guys. It's not an efficient build. It doesn't work out exactly, but hey, does that matter when it packs such a punch?
So Trigger went from scouting the entire map to not scouting at all in the second game, which is probably also not quite ideal, right? Like if he would have... Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't not scout at all. He did send that probe scout across the map, obviously, but playing it a lot more conservatively.
I felt like he had some idea of what was going on, right? Like, he was fully walling off. Like, he knew something was a bit strange. He just couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was that was a bit strange. So, yeah, GG's. And I mean, credit Dolan coming up with something creative. You don't... I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen a Hellbat Marauder one time, but it's not a common build, so crank it out in your ESL regionals. Love it. Yeah. Love the
one base Hellbat. Yeah, one base double factory Hellbat Marauder against Terran.
Oh, yeah. Against Terran's my favorite part. It's like, hey, what if I do like maybe a build that's good versus Zerg, but versus the Protoss?
Yeah. It's like, but what are you gonna kill? Everything.
But how about suck against Stalkers? Watch this. You know, I actually do wonder though.
Here we go.
Because there was a moment where the Stalkers got surrounded by SCVs and they just sort of died. There was, honestly, what if the Stalkers carried backwards and they got a bit more damage done for a while? I feel like that was actually a big loss from Trigger too, because over time, maybe that could have made a bit of a difference. Then again, I guess they were concussive shots, so maybe running made no difference, so never mind. Alright, game 3, top right, red Terran player is going to be Dolan from the Cranky Ducklands.
Once again, sending out a cheeky little SCV. The opponent in the opposite corner, it's Trigger. Representing Basilisk.
Double racks?
Do you just go 4-gate Stalker every game? Is that what you just have to do here?
No. T-Rex isn't that crazy good, right? We saw,
I guess not.
Not only did we see, you know, Foxa trying to do it against a straight earlier, but I'm pretty sure Trigger was in the Twitch chat saying, this build never works. I don't know if he specifically meant like the version where Foxa was trying to, you know, really convince his opponent it was normal, but maybe he just meant like the 2 racks in general with the 1 rack proxy.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that is what he meant, yeah. So, double barracks over here for Dolan this time around. I don't think we're going to be proxying a whole lot more, as we probably, there you go, want to go for a command center in the meantime. It can still obviously be a little bit tricky. Oh, we're once again just going to go straight tech lab here. So we're once again just going to go straight into Marauders.
Yes, we are. Proba Trigger falling back. Did see the CC. Should have seen that it was a little bit later than usual, though. So I feel like that's still a little bit of a sign. As what tech structure do we throw down? As Trigger not deciding just yet, just Chrono Boost now in Adept, which will obviously increase the scouting information on the map. And we are ready to drop down what looks like probably a Twilight Council. Starts the Stalker, he's in position to drop the tech structure.
Yeah.
Does not have 150 gas, so Twilight Council it will be. That will not help him against the initial attack, so this is going to be for Trigger finding a way to survive with basic gateway units for a little bit.
Okay, so concussive grenades are coming up once again here for Dolan. Obviously, that is a pretty good unit to have, the Marauder here, against any sort of Stalker play. Trigger here trying to figure out what he's going up against. It's difficult. Like, did he delay his command center, or did he delay his command center because I was there dancing with my probe? It turns out he did delay the command center, but he built a second barracks on the other side. And at this point, this is still completely unscouted. Now, when exactly do you spoil the surprise here, right here, right? If you're Trigger, like, when do you decide, okay, this is the moment where I'm going to show my units? Apparently, it's right about right now. You know what? This is definitely a very scary opportunity.
He's realizing something's up, man. He's like, why are two SCVs trying to come with these Marines? Start an extra battery. Two Marauders going to hit a gateway at the front, but if you could just deny the batteries already, that would be great. Or damage on the Stalkers early is nice. There's a depth from the other side already hurt. Is going to go down. We're very close to losing our first Marauder.
Careful.
Keeps it alive, though. That's a good sign. Now a second Marauder. Kept alive as well. The Marines will come. They'll add a lot of DPS eventually, as this one Stalker will go down, but we lose two of the Marauders now. Trying to get back onto building the bunker. We have to fight aggressively because you're essentially saying, I want to get this bunker up, but the Stalkers are going to shut this down, and Trigger is going to hold.
Blink immediately fires up on the back of this, together with a robo facility. Very fun attack right here from Dolan, but very well handled as well by Trigger, right? Ultimately only really losing like one Stalker there, right? To snipe two Marauders, not a bad trade whatsoever. And keep in mind that on the back of this, Trigger's only just now got a command center. Is he pulling the rest of the boys? Oh yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, we are.
They're coming across.
I really take it back when I said Dolan wasn't a cheesy player, man. Apparently he really is. You know, and game one was so like on brand for what I suggested as well. He's like a timing-based player, and now he's just going to cheese the crap out of Trigger games 2 and 3.
This is technically also a timing, I guess.
Yeah, this is the 20 SCV timing. So yeah, show up, the probes will
are
pull.
going to be forced to pull right here to the front to try and fight this to the best of their abilities. Battery overcharge not yet available again already. Those Marauders still putting in a lot of work, but there it is, battery overcharge. Comes off cooldown, and I think that should be pretty nice.
Yeah, that should be pretty nice. Marines and a couple of Marauders still powerful, though. I mean, the army supply is there, but we're getting more and more reinforcements out. The batteries buy you a bit of time. Stalkers not going to have any battery healing now. And this last little shove of Terran do something significant. It doesn't really feel like it. He is on one single SCV, which is probably not going to cut it. Stalkers are very microable against everything else, and that is going to do it. GG's Trigger.